All right. So today you went to CK12, and I think you had two assignments in there. One of them was PLIX, which is pretty simple and straightforward. As long as you do the activity, you get 100. And I think you have a practice assignment. You get 10 correct. That's 100. Remember, on the practice assignments, you can use your notes, you can use your textbook, you can use whatever. We skipped Fin and Pick because we had some technical issues and CK12 took a little longer. So now we're going to go to the notes. So if everybody would get your notebooks out.
Writing notes?
Yep. All right. So we started these questions yesterday, correct? Right? Okay. So these are the answers. You don't have to have the exact same thing word for word, but you should have something similar. To describe the location of a feature on Earth's surface, you can use the street address, latitude and longitude, straight line distance from 3 points. So that's called triangulation. Okay? And sometimes you see this in like murder mysteries and stuff. And they're like, well, the criminal used this brand of duct tape that's only sold in this area. And they also used this kind of rope that's only found in this area. And then, they had this kind of car. And so this must be where the murderer lives or something. Okay? It's called triangulation. It's also how they find earthquake epicenters. So that's why they're talking about 3 distances there. It's triangulation. Number 2, you might need to describe which direction a ball is moving so someone else can avoid being hit by it. I don't understand. What was the question? Nope. Number 2, give an example of a situation where you might need to describe which direction an object is going. All right. So another example might be, if you're a police officer chasing someone who hopefully has actually committed a crime, then you're chasing them and you radio for backup. You're like, they're going north on I-85 at 80 miles an hour. So you got to give them the direction and the speed they're going. You can use a compass to tell the direction an object is moving because the needle of a compass always points north. Topography refers to differences in elevation that gives features on the Earth's surface their 3-dimensional shape. All right. Let's see here. So topography, that's an important definition that you should know. You should know what a compass is as well. On the continents, the highest landforms are mountains. That is true. Landforms on continents that may be created when sediments are eroded by wind or water include river valleys. Landforms may also be created when sediments are deposited. Those are called deltas. Well, yeah. There might be some other things formed by deposited sediments too. For example, a delta forms when sediments eroded by a river are deposited where the river meets the ocean. Number 7, I would describe the volcano's position by giving the exact latitude and longitude. Okay? You can, like if I just said 35 by 105, 35 latitude, 35 north latitude, 105 longitude. That gets you to an area. But you can also add decimals, but they're called minutes. And you can get very specific about where you are. If you play Pokemon Go, Wizards Unite, the Jurassic Park version of Pokemon Go type games, there's a Walking Dead version, now there's a Witcher version. Anyway, any of those games, it tracks your location for purposes in the game. Okay? So that's how they do that, latitude and longitude. And number 8, you should have something along the lines that you would use symbols or shading to show difference in elevation on the map. Any students who are familiar with topographic maps might describe contour lines to show elevation. But unless you're an avid hiker or a Girl Scout or Boy Scout, you may not have come across too many topographic maps. I don't know. Alright, we good? See a couple of pencils moving. Alright, so we'll I'll give you a moment here to get that. Pause. Alright, so these are the objectives. I'm mainly interested in these 2 objectives. This one I think is good to know, but I'm probably not going to test you on it a whole lot. Alright, our vocabulary for this section are map and projection. There we go. So these are the 3 notes for page 22, which should be a left-hand page. All right. And again, because we're getting to the point where everybody has access to CK12, I can give you fewer notes of things that I think are of particular importance. All right, so types of maps. A relief map is going to show the general relief or terrain of the area, okay? And so a topographic map is going to show point she's awake. If not, we've made a valiant effort. Alright. Relief is the terrain, so mountainous, swamp, flat. Radar is going to give you a radar map. That's what you see on the weather all the time. Satellite images, you see those with the weather a lot. You can also go into Google Earth or Google Maps and switch to a satellite view. Climate, so it's going to show you climate, okay? Deserts, rainforest, taigas, boreal forest, temperate forest. Weather, you see those with the weather reports. Topographic map are going to have contour lines, and they're going to show you like how high a hill or a mountain is or how low a valley is. And geologic maps, so this, I know you can't see it that well because it's tiny. This is a geologic map of North Carolina. So for example, each color is a different type of rock. These are sedimentary and metamorphic rock. These are intrusive rocks, and these are sedimentary rocks. So you can look and see what the bedrock is for an area of North Carolina on there. A projection takes the round spherical Earth, because it's round and spherical, people, it's not flat, okay, and projects it onto a flat surface. Now, for me standing here, I can look that way, whatever way, and it looks flat. Because compared to the Earth, I'm a tiny ant. If you were an ant or a flea on a basketball, everything would look flat to you as well. Okay? But it's round. Every projection has its benefits and its weaknesses. We actually watched a video about that. This video, as a matter of fact. And so remember, he cut the inflatable globe apart, and he could not make it flat. without stretching it and distorting things. And that's what projections do. We've already watched it. There we go. I'm going to skip that for now. We'll come back. Well, I thought I had some things. So this is a contour map or a topographic map. Each line represents elevation. So this dark, every fifth line is bolded. So this bold line here represents every single dot on that bolded line is 100 feet above sea level. This bolded line, everything is 200 feet above sea level. Okay? So this line is halfway in between. So what do you think it is? Yes, sir.
I was going to add these.
That is the incorrect answer. What's halfway between 100 and 200?
50.
Right. So that's 150. Right? So now I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if this is 100 and that's 150, each line represents 10 feet of elevation. That's what we call the contour interval. So every single line on this map, every contour line represents 10 feet of elevation. Now some maps it might be 20 feet or 40 feet. Okay, but this map it's 10 feet. When you have concentric contour lines like this that go around the same point, that's a hill or maybe a mountain. If you see lines that come close together, it looks like they're starting to touch, then that's a cliff. Lines like this that have the little teeth, those are called Hatcher lines. That's a depression. So this is a hill. This is going above sea level. This is going down. These V lines, this is a river valley. So there's no blue line indicating a river now. So a river used to flow through here, and it carved out this valley, and the point of the V points uphill. Ow. All right. As a reminder, if we have a fire drill, we are going to go out and down those stairs over there.
We have one today.
Okay?
We have one today.
I don't think we're having one today, but we have to have one a month. Okay? So that's where we would go.